Whittier is not only a creepy town, but an unconventional one. The entire town lives under one roof. I'm not sure I'd want that many neighbors in close quarters, personally. Aside from that, there's claims that Whittier is haunted, and its hidden location in Alaska sure doesn't help. How true are these rumors, though? Is Whittier that creepy, or just misunderstood? Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Chilling Chapters. My name is Zach, and today we're going to talk about Whittier, Alaska, which is known as being one of the weirdest towns in America. We're going to go through and talk about each point one at a time, so sorry if I sound like I'm bouncing around a little bit. Anyway, let's jump right in. Whittier, Alaska, first of all, was apparently named after a large glacier. In 1915, this glacier was named after American poet John Greenleaf Whittier, known for his anti-slavery writings and his book, Snowbound. The name of the Whittier Glacier eventually became the name of the town. The city's own website calls it the Gateway to Prince William Sound, as it was once part of the portage route that Chugach natives of Prince William Sound traveled to reach the Turnagain Arm for fishing. The Turnagain Arm is a waterway into the Gulf of Alaska in Anchorage. Whittier isn't just a tiny town in terms of population, it's incredibly difficult to get there. Their website reads, "Welcome to the spectacular community of Whittier, Alaska. If you drive the Seward Highway heading southeast from Anchorage for about 60 miles and pass through the historic Anton Anderson Memorial Tunnel, you will arrive at the pristine wilderness at the head of Passage Canal and find the city of Whittier nestled between breathtaking mountains, emerald forests, and a sparkling blue sea." It sounds beautiful, as many places in Alaska are, but to even access Whittier, it's a bit of an interesting journey. There's a mountain on one side of Whittier and water on the other three by the looks of things. The only way is to go through this tunnel carved into the mountain, and it's the second longest highway tunnel in North America. It's also the longest combined rail and highway tunnel in the country, being over 2 miles long. The Anton Anderson Memorial Tunnel, built beneath Maynard Mountain, is a one-lane traffic highway, so it may not be ideal for someone claustrophobic. There are emergency sidewalks and turnouts at least, and high-power reversible jet fans are located at the ends of the tunnel to force fresh air through a series of vents. Apparently, the tunnel started off as just a rail system and promoted military efforts in World War II. It continued that way until the 60s, when the military left it behind. One source states, "While the tunnel accommodates traffic in both directions, it remains a single lane. Sharing a tunnel with other drivers and trains may seem questionable under this circumstance, but have no fear. The tunnel is managed by a sophisticated computer system that directs traffic and travel to accommodate everyone. Traffic to Whittier allows one car to leave per half hour, and from Whittier every hour. No bicycles or foot traffic are allowed. This allows plenty of time for traffic to flow, as the drive takes approximately 10 minutes. As for the military, that's the next thing we're going to talk about. After all, a location in the middle of the mountains blanketed by thick cloud cover sounds like a pretty ideal spot for the US military. They were there until 1960, and the population dramatically decreased when the military left. However, the military also left something behind, the baggage towers that almost every Whittier, Alaska resident lives in to this day. Whittier has often been called a town under one roof for this reason. Most of its residents live within the 14-story apartment building, which includes a post office, general store, hospital, the police department, the mayor's office, a church, grocery, laundry, small hotel, conference room, and a play area. Completed in 1957, the 150-unit Hodge building was named for Colonel Walter William Hodge, who was a civil engineer and the commanding officer of 93rd Engineer Regiment on the Alcan Highway. The apartment building was renamed in 1972 in memory of U.S. Congressman Nick Begich from Alaska, who died in a plane disappearance near the area. The Baggage Towers, originally known as the Hodge Building, has also been renovated and upgraded over the years. There's 196 apartments there, and since there's about 205 people in the entire town, it's no wonder almost this entire town lives under one roof. Personally, I don't know how I'd do in such an isolated area, but I guess if the people there were friendly and neighborly, it could be a great situation for some. Also, on a side note, I originally found it a little bit silly that the Whittier website said, quote, "The people of Whittier are as varied and diverse as the landscape that surrounds them." Surely that can't be true of a town of 200 where everyone lives in the same building, right? Well, surprisingly, Whittier does have more diversity there than you might assume. According to one source, the town statistics read as such. 44.6% are white, 2% are black, 23.3% are Asian, 8.1% are Native American, 9.6% claim Hispanic ethnicity, 7.6% two or more races, 4.7% Hawaiian Pacific Islander. I'm not saying this is a completely diverse melting pot of people or anything, but I just thought it was a fun fact that when their website says they have a pretty wide variety of people among that 200, they actually mean it, considering their tiny population. Another facility left behind by the military is the Buckner Army Barracks. This is where the whole haunting aspect comes in. According to one source, this facility was abandoned in 1964 after it suffered immense damage in the Good Friday earthquake. Reports have said that it is apparently very expensive to demolish because it is bomb-proof and full of asbestos. Let's touch on that real quick. Yes, there was a massive earthquake in Alaska, one of the most powerful ever recorded in US history, actually. I've heard about earthquakes in California all the time, but Alaska? This took place on March 27, 1964, and it's the second largest earthquake ever recorded. Apparently this happened when the Pacific Plate lurched northward underneath the North American Plate. The quake measured a 9.2 on the moment magnitude scale, and Whittier, small as it is, still suffered $10 million in property damage, according to one source. One of the waves, probably the same one that caused the major damage in Whittier, reached a height of 31.7 meters above low tide. At Whittier, the waves destroyed 2 sawmills, the Union Oil Company tank farm, wharf and buildings, the Alaska Railroad Depot, numerous frame dwellings, and the railroad ramp handling towers at the Army Pier. The waves also caused great damage to the small boat harbor. The tsunami killed 13 people at Whittier, a community of 70 people. This must have been so devastating to such a small community. It's hardly any wonder that this would be in the backstory of a haunted building. The Anchorage Daily News says that the Buckner Building, named after General Simon Bucker, who died in World War II, hangs over the town like a ghost. Given all the reminders of the Army, the ominous entrance to the town, Whittier is considered the strangest, most haunted town in Alaska. Now, Buckner has graffiti on the walls, words like The Shining or Red Rum. It's fitting, said Ted Spencer, who lives in San Diego but is curator of the Whittier Museum, one of the best museums in Alaska. Once while exploring the building, he entered a room too dark to tell what it was. Finally, after the sun moved and his eyes adjusted, he realized that he was standing on the stage of a 300-person auditorium. It was, in a word, spooky. A feeling heightened often by the strange noises in the building. Animals scurrying, wind whistling through open windows. Once Spencer even heard water running down a pipe that was crashing onto the floor. Who turned on the spigot? He still doesn't know. The spookiness in the noise may have lured some spirits to the comfort of the living. The Baggage Towers, commonly known as BTI, is the place where nearly all 160 Whittier residents live today. Stories of bumps in the night and phantom noises abound. One of the ghosts who inhabit the building is apparently fond of whistling. Other sources say that though the building was meant to withstand a bombing, it couldn't withstand an earthquake. The hauntings, from the looks of it, are everything from floating white lights to full apparitions of people dressed in uniforms and civilian attire. I can't say whether or not it's haunted, obviously, but I'll say that it definitely looks eerie. Other writings or articles about the topic say that Whittier is right out of a horror movie because of these scary locations. Personally, I don't know if I find it all that terrifying, though. It's absolutely eerie to look at, but nothing that's particularly terrifying or terrible. The people in Whittier are deservedly proud of their tunnel. It's won the Outstanding Civil Engineering Award, an Excellence in Construction Award, the President's Award for Highways, and many, many more. They may be tiny, with only 60 students between grades kindergarten to 12th, so I guess someone could find that pretty strange or unusual, but I don't find Whittier particularly scary. Maybe just a little unsettling. And very, very rainy, as one of the wettest cities in the US with 197.8 inches of rainfall and 249 inches of snow per year. No wonder everything is in one building, right? With all that said though, that's where I'm going to end today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button if you did, and I'll see you in the next one. If you want to see more content from me, my personal channel ZachXFuller is linked in the description below. See you around.